Now that days are becoming longer again and I see the first snowbells and crocuses popping up from the ground, I grow restless and impatient, hoping that spring will arrive soon. Of all the seasons, winter definitely is my least favorite one. Each year I struggle with the darkness, the seemingly endless grey days and the cold. But winter isn't all bad, and in fact, it has an important lesson to teach us. Every season of the year has its purpose. Winter, with its cold and darkness, fulfills an important role in the natural cycle. Many plants need this time to rest and gather strength for another year of growth. In fact, many trees and flowers need to be exposed to cold temperatures for a certain minimum number of days in order to produce fruit and flowers the following spring. This process is called vernalization, and it's how we get apples, peaches, tulips or daffodils, to name only a few examples. And just like trees and flowers, we also need moments of rest. Unfortunately, modern Western society is not built for us to live according to the natural cycles of life. While winter naturally is a time of rest and restoration, for many of us this season is actually the most stressful in the entire year. First, we get swamped with work because of year-end deadlines, along with all the holiday-related stress, followed by the pressure to reinvent our lives and grind towards our goals in the new year. I'm definitely speaking of experience here, and I also know that a lot of these stressors are out of our control. The holidays happen when they happen, and the end of the year is probably always going to be a busier than average time, but not everything is out of our control. This year I've made a conscious effort to take things a bit more slowly whenever I can. Towards the end of last year, I realized that the pace at which I was going was not sustainable. I was juggling way too many commitments and I felt like I was failing at all fronts because of it. I felt so disappointed in myself because I ended up not having time for the two things that matter most to me, which are my family and my health. So I decided that I would have to cut back somehow in the new year. I still want to work towards my goals and I still want to make time for my friends, but not at the expense of my physical and mental well-being. Because rest is not commonly prioritized in our culture, we have to make it a conscious choice, and we do so by setting boundaries, not just with other people, but with ourselves as well. To me, setting boundaries with myself meant making the tough but necessary choice to drop out of choir. I enjoyed singing in this choir for the past 8 years, and it's also where I met my boyfriend. But when I sat down to evaluate my commitments, I realized that being part of this choir just wasn't a priority for me anymore. I knew that I would find more value in having a free Tuesday evening each week. But of course, you will probably also need to set boundaries with other people. One of my rules for the new year was to have only one social engagement per weekend. That means if I host a game night with friends on a Saturday evening, I will schedule lunch with my sister for another weekend. And I know this won't always work out, but I try to be as strict with it as possible because I learned, especially being an introvert, I need time alone to recharge my batteries. By this point, I think we can all agree that rest is important, but let's quickly talk about what rest actually is, because it sounds quite straightforward, but rest can actually look very different for different people. And contrary to popular belief, although sleep is a restful activity, it is not the only kind of rest we need. Basically, we need rest to fill up our cup, both physically and mentally. I find the most helpful way to understand rest is to divide it into different categories. So first of all, there is physical rest, which means reducing physical activity and allowing the body to recover its energy reserves. If what you need is physical rest, then prioritize your sleep, maybe take a nap after a lunch break, or you could also engage in low intensity activities such as gentle stretching or going for a walk. Or maybe what you need most right now is emotional rest, and that could mean talking to a supportive friend, or it could also mean going to therapy or taking up journaling. Then there's mental rest, which might mean giving your mind a break from overstimulation by meditating, taking a break from your phone, or simply taking some time each day for daydreaming. Find out what rest means to you. There are many ways in which we can rest, and what you need right now might look completely different from what I need. What kind of rest we need can also change from day to day, so make sure to check in with yourself regularly to find out what kind of rest you need at any given time. Now I know, finding moments of rest can be very difficult, especially if you are a caregiver or you have a highly demanding job. But the thing is, your to-do list will never get done. As soon as you cross one thing off the list, 2 more things get added to the bottom. And you could be overwhelmed by this, or you could find freedom in knowing that no matter how many hours you work, you will never get it all done. So it's okay to take a 10-minute break, even if the laundry isn't done or you haven't finished that work project yet. Also, taking a break doesn't have to be this grand, complicated thing, and it also doesn't have to take a lot of time. I think going in with that expectation will probably just make you feel more stressed. Instead, look for little pockets of time throughout your day to pause. For example, I like to listen to relaxing music or a guided meditation on my commute home from work. Or I also like to use my waiting time, for example, when I'm waiting in a line somewhere, to focus on my breathing or to even do a quick body scan. If you struggle to remember to take breaks, then schedule them in your calendar like you would any other appointment. Maybe even tell others, like your friends or coworkers, about your intention to take these breaks so you will feel more committed. Even if it's just something small like taking 15 minutes in the afternoon to go for a walk. By the way, I've been doing that a lot more recently and it's been really helpful for my productivity. Whatever your unique schedule looks like, find out what kind of rest you need and how you can integrate it into your day-to-day. Ultimately, taking time for rest is neither selfish nor does it make you lazy, but it's actually vital for your long-term physical and mental well-being. As the popular saying goes, we cannot pour from an empty cup, so let's make sure that we fill our cups regularly. Alright, I hope you found some inspiration in this video to maybe make a little bit more time for rest, especially now that the winter season is slowly coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of whatever day it is for you, and I will see you very soon. Bye!